part of the architect of. These are conversations we need to have. Now, let me tell you something. Some people say, yes, it's not safe. If you go and do it with Babalawo, if you go to a dispensary and go and do it, if you go and do it with a quack, of course, it's not safe. But if you go to a proper hospital, why is it not safe? You see, many of you are talking like you live in the first world. Meanwhile, you are in third world Nigeria, where people can barely feed. Don't you people? You see, listen. If your parents are rich and your parents say, "You know what? I'm supporting you. Keep this baby." Okay, it's totally different. When I was in final year in the university, my ex told me she was pregnant. I was more like done with the university. But guess what? We had family support. The family was supporting us. I was working. I had a job. It was not a well-paying job, but I had a defined career. All I needed to do was come to Lagos and get a better job. And it was suffering. And that suffering was part of what broke that marriage. There's a certain level of suffering that even the marriage will break and the children will be affected. But at least I was able to stand up and say, you know what, I'm doing this. But what if my parents could not afford it? I'm suffering. I know people who are suffering. You're living with your parents in a one-room apartment, or your parents are not well-to-do, and then you have this issue. You know what? Let me bring Yella on, and I want Yella to share her own perspective. I know she's been quiet because nobody wants to take the bashing. Nobody wants to be the fall guy in this topic because they're going to come after you. But I want to tell you, yeah, I believe personally, in my humble opinion, that's why I'm saying God did not tell me to come and tell you this. So I'm not going to lie and say God said no. I believe the greater sin is the sin. And the greater sin is dropping out of school without having the school you've gone to. Have you found work yet? Then you now don't want to finish school because of a baby. And then you are now hopping up from one internet place to the other, looking for who is going to give you money. Let's be candid. I believe the sin is bringing a child you are not ready for emotionally. I believe you're bringing a child you're not ready for financially. I remember growing up and seeing children suffer. And then the next thing you tell me is one of those children is going to become a president. Really? The worst time in a person's life to suffer is when they're children. Children, I went through some hardship growing up. Do you know I still sleep and wake up in the house I grew up in 40 years later, 35 years later? And my situation was not bad. Now imagine my situation was really bad. So over to you, Yella. What is your take?
I won't say if I were the girl, I would say that she should have bought this baby. Some people are saying that her what's it called? If
Don't just say term because of social media.
pregnancy.
But continue.
A lot of people, some people here are saying that, oh, her issue is not financial. Her issue right now at the moment isn't financial because she's still under her parents. But she's saying that if she has this baby, that her parents are throwing her away, right? She doesn't have a job. She hasn't.
Or leaving her parents a disgrace, according to her text. She said she is leaving her parents and her family because she sees herself as a disgrace.
So is it that they don't know?
I don't think they do.
Okay. My advice that I would give her is not to terminate the pregnancy. It is to go and tell her parents first. At least let's see what they have to say before she starts running away. You can't run away from what.
Now, times when you tell your parents, they remove that option from it.
Telling her parents.
Yes, they
Okay, then
removed
that
that
means
option from it.
we're making the assumption that her parents are not going to support her.
No, they're going to support her. Most parents will support you to have the child, not to remove it. So you, first of all, have to make up your mind first. What do you want? I would not tell my parents. I would expect you to tell me whether or not. But you see, I'm the kind of parent that's going to ask you, what do you want? I'm not going to judge you. If you tell me, Daddy, I want to remove it, I'll be on your side 100%.
Because
Say that again.
she said, "Oh, I'm in trouble. She needs help and everything," but she literally said, "I cannot terminate the pregnancy." There's only two options: terminate it or not terminate it. Where her heart is to keep this baby because she doesn't want to terminate it. Exactly. So she
Yeah.
has indirectly kind of told us what she wants to do. She doesn't want to terminate this baby.
Okay. Awesome. Good deductions. Now, let me tell you something about having a child. At least you've seen your mom have a child, and you know the responsibility that comes with having a child.
Yeah.
Even for a woman who has a supporting husband, who has a house, who has a job, a child will rob you of the first 2 years of its life. When a child comes to this world, it comes with a gun pointed at your head. Hey, you're not going anywhere. You're gonna carry me when I cry. No. What am I saying? 2 years? Minimum 3 years. Because from the middle stage of the pregnancy, from like when the pregnancy is about 6 months till 3 months after you deliver, it is just the pregnancy and you and the baby. Unless you've never had children before. I have watched a woman have children, and it robs them of anything from 2 years. That means you are very quick. You just drop the baby and move, to up to 5 years. Even my mother, that is a professor of law, vice chancellor of a university, my mother did not work for 5 years when she had me and my younger sister. My mother sat at home, my whole mother. She did nothing but raise us for the first 5 years, raise and homeschool us. So having a child is a decision. Now, here's the thing. When my mom had me, she was 21. But guess what? She had her master's in law. So she put her life on hold for 5 years. But the moment we were old enough to go to school, and she didn't need to raise us hands on again. By the time I was 6, and my younger sister Lola was, I think, 4, my mom went back to her career that she stopped. She had something to go back to. She went back to law school. She was already a lawyer. She had her master's in law. All she needed to do was go to law school. So she went back to law school in 1982 for 1 year, finished law school, and then started lecturing. Even her choice of career was restricted. She couldn't just get any job. She had to get a job that will fit the children in. Now, my father was a doctor. He's still a doctor. He runs his own hospital. As of that time, he was under the employment of the Oyo State government. So my father had a job. He was a doctor. He was not a clerk. He was a fully Europe-trained doctor. My mother was a master's in law, a law degree holder with a master's in law, and just completed law school in Nigeria so she can practice in Nigeria. And it wasn't easy. It was tough. I remember my dad telling me a story of when he came home and they didn't have a mattress. So he bought a mattress at the junction and carried it on his head. And as a doctor, and carried the mattress on his head all the way home from the junction of where we lived. So, but that's a doctor. He had a promising future. He had a salary. Within 2 years of him working as a doctor, he got a car loan to buy a brand new car. And within about 5 years, he was able to set up his own practice. So when you have a future, you can rough it. But you see, there are points in your life where your life has not defined itself. Having a child there is going to rob you of is going to take you into minus because you are at zero. You see, sometimes people like my dad and my mom, when they had us, were like 5, a master's in law and a doctor. But they were not 100% ready. But yeah, okay, it took them back. Maybe they were at 5, it took them back to 2. I was even worse. I was just out of the university. The woman I was with then just finished university. I had 5 years working experience on the radio, but it still took us back to 0. And then we start to pick. Some of you are at 0. The only place to go is below 0. So women need to be told this thing. The fact that you have a womb does not mean you are at liberty to use it to bring somebody else into your situation. Is your situation good? Let me ask you, women, is your situation good? If your answer is no, why do you want somebody else to join you in your situation? Yella, over to you. I've been talking a lot because there are so many issues I have to address. Now I'm handing everything over to you. Talk well, and we're going to bring other people over. Buki, I need you on this talk, but Yella, over to you.
Something that a lot of people are saying: stop practicing unprotected sex. Intercourse. No condom is 100%. So if you want to shame, she was engaging in unprotected sex, please stop, because we didn't specify the kind of sex.
Use the word intercourse. Use the word intercourse.
Intercourse she was engaging in. So that's not what we're talking about. It's not about the type of intercourse she engaged in. We're talking about what she's going to do about her pregnancy. The thing is, I don't think she's also emotionally ready to take care of a kid. First of all, the man that she was with that got her pregnant is getting married to somebody else, and then just told her, oh, I don't really care what you do with the baby, but I would advise you to terminate it. First of all, that's going to leave a mark on her. She's not going to be okay. So even when she does have that kid that she thinks she wants to have, by the time she has it, it's just going to be a reminder of some kind of awful memory. And on top of carrying that burden of a memory, she's not going to be able to take care of the kid well, because she's not even done with school. She doesn't have who to support her. She didn't know if her parents were going to support her because she never bothered to bring the matter to her parents. She just ran away. To me, that's impulsive. Why would she just run away without telling her parents? She doesn't know what they're going to say. At least let it be that they chased her with machete first before she ran away from them. Then that would make sense. And if she's going to have the baby, the only thing I can say is she should give it up for for adoption immediately.
Now, let's discuss that option. A lot of women will say you have the baby and give it up for adoption. I live with a woman. I'm going to be very honest with you. You cannot do it. It takes the kind of mind not many women have. Because for the rest of your life, you'll be worried that you have one child somewhere. And that child is going to be blending into a family. And you're going to go there one day and you're going to say you want to see your child, and you're going to, what is it called? And you're going to want to destroy, or you're going to want to have access. You're going to do something for your own selfish reasons. Imagine you're poor, and then you drop the child for adoption, and then you go on and you become rich. You now remember that, I have one child somewhere. To me, I personally, knowing the emotional attachment a woman has with a child, I would not, to me, I know you say adoption. Me, my own is when something never reach where if it's 1 month old, I will tell you, anybody that wants to fight me will fight me. Remove it. If you are poor, don't bring another person to join you in poverty. So don't make somebody else because
that you consider. If you know that when you give this child up for adoption, you're going to think about it. You have to think about things in the long run. You can't just think about the here and now. At the end of the day, it's not like you're going to be pregnant for 1 day, then have the baby. You have 9 months to actually think about.
9 months of bonding to do with this
have 9 months to think about what you're going to
child.
do. So if you know that you're going to give this child up for adoption, think about it. Think about the kind of person you are. You get attached to things. In a year, you're going to be thinking of how they're treating your baby. You want to see your baby. If you know you can't do without this kid, then you should terminate it. These are the things that you're going to have to consider. I think people don't, when they
I
are
agree
thinking about it, they'll just be
100%.
like, okay, I'm just going to give my kid up for adoption. No. When you think about, okay, can I really handle giving up my kid for adoption? Like, do you think you're not going to relapse into that emotion of wanting to have your kid and have your kid, not just having the kid, actually keeping the kid? You're not going to relapse into that. You have to think about that. So, like, if you think that you won't, then yeah, have your kid. But if you think that you can, then I think you should terminate pregnancy.
Someone is saying you are not talking about the mental health problems stemming from termination. I have met more women who have mental health problems arising from having children in you. I run a church. Listen, forget online. No, I run a church. Do you
Some
know
of them
how
did
many people
take care of.
hold hold on. Do you know how many married but they can't feed, and then the church has to take care of them? There's one particular girl up to diapers now the church they handle, and she was married when she had this child. Do you want to tell me that a woman that has a child, let's have this discussion. Do you want to tell me that a woman that has a child that she cannot feed and she's watching this child suffer, do you think it's not going to give her mental health? Let me tell you, the women that I have met in my life, I've never met a single woman, and I've counseled hundreds of people. I've never met a single woman that told me one-on-one that she has any mental issue stemming from terminating. I've read about it on the newspaper. Let me tell you the one that I know. Abusive marriage. I have children. I can't take care of them. I want to leave my husband. I don't have the power to. That one, I have met 100. I have rented house for women. I have borrowed money for them. I have dashed money. I have paid school fees for children in the church. I have bought diapers. I have paid hospital bill for some repeatedly, recurrently. I have never, I have, listen, 700,000 people following me on Instagram alone. I have 500,000 people, sorry, 1 second, on Facebook alone, and no woman has ever sent me a message saying she has mental health issue. Do you know how many out of all of you watching me, you think I don't know that at least 70% of you have done the procedure once or twice in your lives? The women that call me that they have mental health issues because of bad marriage, 95% of women have, and one of the reasons why many of you are stuck in bad marriages. Listen, if now me and you marry,
Daddy,
only two of us, we
Daddy,
don't have kids, and you want to leave, it's like this. Ask any woman, she will tell you that one of the reasons why she can't leave a bad marriage is because what's she going to do with the kids, and that now affects their psychology, their psyche. Over to you. Sorry,
okay,
I had to
now
just
I'm
take
going
that
to
part.
like carry on from your part. I feel like that thing that you said, I feel like there are going to be just as many women who deal with the issue of, oh, I terminated my baby and I'm not okay. And I feel like it's just not being spoken about. This issue that you're talking about now, it wasn't an issue when your parents were married. It was an issue, but not something that was spoken about. So by the time you're your parents' age and I'm your age, it's probably now going to be something that's spoken about, how your mental health is deteriorating because you terminated a baby. This girl is obviously going to have that issue. Like, by the whole message she sent you, she doesn't want to terminate this baby. Terminating this baby is going to be something she's going to have to do, but not something she wanted to do. It's different. The logical thing for her to do is terminate it, but what she wants to do, the difference between what she wants to do and what she has to do is what's going to determine what her mental health status is going to be. She didn't want to do this, but this is what she had to do.
Okay, I agree with you. I agree with that point you've raised, that a lot of people, but like I said, I'm speaking from experience. Maybe you guys need to tell me about it. Maybe you need to tell me if you're going through this. Okay, I'm going to open up my lines. If you're going through this, if you're going through this, you've done this before, and it affects you psychologically, please reach out to me. I want to even have a conversation with. I've not met a single woman. I've met women that will talk about it in passing. You know, I did this, it affected me in passing. But the one that they sit down and say that if my life is over, I can't live this bad marriage. This husband, that one I see every day. I see women that careers have been jeopardized. Listen, this I see every day. I can't do this because I have a kid. That I have seen. That one is on the scale. You cannot compare a woman that her whole, listen, inside marriage. Do you know, I was still talking to a friend of mine today who got married, and because she got married, she had to work in her husband's business, and because she's working in her husband's business, her dreams were truncated. At the end of the day, she had to leave the marriage just because of her dreams. Do you know that there are dreams that you will struggle with the moment you... So what I'm saying is, listen, at the end of the day, no choice is good. The best choice is protect yourself. But like Yella has also said, there's no 100% protection. Whether it is postinol, whether it is what is it called? Whether it is
about pills and injections, I only know about condoms.
Yes. You said you only know about what?
I only know about rubbers, about condoms. I don't know about pills and all those
What about?
other hardcore protection measures. I don't know.
I'm saying, where do you know about them from? Where do you know about them from? Where do you know about them
condom
from?
is at my age now?
Just joking. That's another conversation you all need to have with your children. When your child is 18 and above, you go to guide them, or you go to fight with them also. But you also need to teach them that, if this one should enter inside this one, this is the result.
Which one is this Yella? Don't spoil self.
Yella is 19. Are you going to have a 19-year-old that you're not going to have this conversation with? You're going to be 20-year-old. My mother had me at 21. My mother had me at 21. This one is going to be 20 this year. Does this one look to you like a small child? Sure, they see the nonsense where they type. So listen. The people are going to come and tell you that terminating a baby is murder. Leave it. Let me tell you, greed is in the same WhatsApp group as witchcraft. How come nobody talks about greed in this country?
As what?
As witchcraft. Let me ask you a question. All these plenty scriptural teachers. Nigeria got spoiled. Did Nigeria spoiled today because people were terminating pregnancy? Is that what spoiled Nigeria? Or the greed of the last generation of politicians? All the way up. What do you think destroyed Nigeria? They'll be telling you about religious things. Meanwhile, what is destroying Nigeria is physical. Me, if I had a sister or a daughter in a position that she cannot help herself, and I see that her future will be truncated, I personally would give her the option of terminating. But here's the thing, I remain a very big advocate for my body, my decision. Every woman who owns a womb should be able to determine what she does with her womb. Every woman who owns a womb should be able to decide and determine what happens to her womb. Now, many women are making decisions, but they're unaware of consequence. Many women are not aware of consequence, and they just said it is a sin. Did they tell you that that pastor that stood on that pulpit to preach to you that terminating is a sin? Did they tell you that greed will take you to hellfire faster? We need to be, you see, one of the things is I will never sit down here as leader of the free nation and teach the free nation what will make them in bondage. Let me tell you, the Bible is a book you can use to defend anything in this world you want to defend. It depends on the angle you are coming from. The pastor that is telling you that terminating is a sin. But forget all these things, please. Like I said, following us in the free nation is not by force. You don't have to. But I will not see truth lie to you. When you are in poverty, I'll now beg you to add. First of all, do you know that Nigeria does not have a population problem?
Oh,
We are 210 million, out of which 90%
overpopulation.
hunger. So you want to tell me that it is sin preventing one person to come and join the 90? Let's stop lying to ourselves. The real sin is those people that put us in this problem. That's the people committing sin. I'm listening to you. Buki, what is your take? Let me bring Yella back. The network was
my
very bad.
take. Well, I'll say it's open. Everybody has different circumstances. So we can't judge only by one. Everybody's case is different. However, I have to point out some things which you've already said anyway. First of all, here, and I think it's something they need to adopt in Nigeria, but I know they will never do that. Well, I don't want to use never. It will be difficult. Is if you're going to have a termination, you have some sort of counseling, some sort of support before you go ahead. So that is here. Even after, if you need some sort of support, you get that. I'm not sure if it's going to ever happen in Nigeria. I don't know if they do it. So that one is there. That addresses in terms of the emotional part or the guilt part. To be honest with you, everybody will feel guilty. No matter what you do, if you do it, you will still feel guilty. I mean, it's not a very straightforward thing. However, it's weighing your options, making what we call an informed decision. If I keep it, what are the consequences? If I take it out, what are the consequences? So like I said, every decision is different. Now, I know some people in the comment section were saying something like CDs and all that. See, when a man, I guarantee you, even me, I am not innocent. I guarantee you that yeah, I'm not innocent either.
Be honest with me.
When you're in love with a guy, reason goes out of the window. You don't think a man loves a woman or you're in love with a guy or whatever it is. At that point, you're not thinking of protection. You're not thinking of future. You're not thinking of anything. You're thinking of now. So, unfortunately,
I'll give you the money.
Once things, because that
I have data finished. She said apparently that she had bought, but she forgot to convert it to data. So she's doing.
So the thing is.
Okay. Now, sorry, Buki, I'm going to put you on the spot. Have you ever been in a position in your life where you considered or you actually went through with a process?
I did, and I did that for, even though I'm here. I mean, I can imagine how tough it will be if you're in Nigeria. It's even here. There's slightly better here, as in, like I said, you've got some counseling, some support, and no matter how bad things are, if you have the child, then maybe some financial support. But at the end of the day, it was my decision. Like I said from the get-go, when you're in love with a guy, you don't reason. That's all this we are talking about. You don't think about it when you're in love. And when you are getting down, you don't think about, most people in the comment section, I am sure nobody can put their hand, well, I won't say nobody. Most people won't be able to honestly say that at least once. There was one time where all caution went into the wind and they didn't actually go all the way without any protection.
I'm not saying it's right. There are different forms of protection we could all have, and hopefully it's more available and it should be free. I hope it is everywhere. It's quite free, so you can have all different. There are different protection for men and for women. However, I'm sure that all of us here, at least one time, would have thrown caution into the wind and gone all the way. Now, in
Mm.
that situation, if you get pregnant and you're not ready, you have to, there's so much attached to it. There's so much. In this scenario we're talking about, it looks as if the girl doesn't have, it looks, number one, the guy does not want the pregnancy. Now, being a single mother is not the easiest thing, no. I've been through it. It's
Don't mind
easy to
them.
sit down there and talk, 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 talk. When you're in this situation, you know that khaki no be leather. It is not easy. And I'm even here in the UK, not to talk of being in Nigeria. It puts your life on hold.
You single
Ahem.
yeah.
It puts a,
You will be sick every day. You will go into
even
prostitution to
here,
feed that child.
and kids are not for, even the 5 years that all of you are talking about. 5 years there, I understand. It's not just 5 years. It's for life till
It's,
they're grown and they're your responsibility.
they are your
So it's not 5 years. It puts so much on hold because of them. And I mean, I love my kids to bits. I love kids. Don't get me wrong. However, I'm just saying that there are some things, if I knew then, I would have probably made other decisions. But I'm happy. I'm happy about the decisions I took anyway. But what I'm trying to say is, it's easy when you're on the other side of the fence to judge people. But when you actually are in the situation, you see it differently.
Someone said raising a child in the UK is very,
Yeah, you
very
have a charge,
hard.
and especially, like I said earlier, if you have to do it to all single parents out there, you know what I'm talking about. It's not the easiest. Number one, there's stigmatization of being a single parent. Nobody, even to get another spouse, and especially you Nigerian men, especially you the men, once somebody has had child before. No, I'm
No,
not talking about you.
you
People in the
don't have
comment
such
section.
problems. So. No,
Thank
I'm just
God for the way the mentality of things are changing. The world is changing, and we are getting more. We are adapting, and we are more tolerant and accepting. But it wasn't like that before. It wasn't like that before. So, like we all talked about, child, no support mentally, bringing up a child on your own, no man in the picture. It's not the easiest thing. I think we said that before. And
I have to read this. Said, I'm a single parent. I'm still outside working right now to feed my
yeah,
family.
I
It is
know
not
this
easy.
society. See, you know what? The problem we all have is, number one, is I've heard also about some churches, or churches that you can't, even as a married couple, you are not encouraged to use family planning methods, even as a married couple, because you're not supposed to stop procreation even as a married couple. Now you imagine, and if I think we've had this discussion before, if you look at it, most people that fall into this category, that one I'm talking about, are mostly people who are poor, who don't have the means, the financial means. We have the mental, that is the first thing, the financial, even educational. There's so many things attached to it. And I know the society will guilt trip you, your neighbors, your family. Oh, family, I love them for that thing. Families will guilt trip you, friends, church, community, this, that will guilt trip you. But at the end of the day, I'm just saying that, I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying make an informed decision. That's it. Over to the next person.
Simply Vic, this matter has been trending. I was on the bus to the airport, then on the plane while I was typing and loading this. I had to go and see Yella earlier on, and like I said, she was looking very fine and cute. Sometimes I wonder these children are in school, instead of them looking stressed, they will now be looking fresh. Simplific. Over to you. Are your thoughts? This is a very
Should I?
controversial matter.
I'm
And
just obviously I'm just joined in. I am reading that should I keep the pregnancy or not? Who now is it the male or the female or anyone?
it started from two
Started from
posts.
where?
It started with two
Okay.
posts yesterday.
No.
Did you read the post? Oh, you have
Who-
to read the post. If you don't read the
Don't
post,
worry,
don't
I'll
do me
catch up.
big.
Who's
So
posting what? What
Basically,
happened?
someone wants an advice.
no, we can't. You know what? Go and read the post.
Post
Then we
from
bring
where?
you back.
From
That is
your page?
his page.
Uh,
It's an
Yes.
advice
I
about
will,
oh,
being
I
pregnant.
read one
I'll
post. One lady that said conception starts from this blah blah blah. Is it that one?
Mm-mm.
The one
the
before
one
that one.
before that one.
So someone being pregnant and needing advice, what to do?
Okay. What to do?
Yeah,
Okay.
to keep it or
And that's
not.
easy, no?
Since we are
Oh,
not,
that can
let
she
me just
keep it
quickly read
or
it.
get rid of it?
Exactly. And the person she's
Yes, let me.
pregnant for is getting married next month to someone else.
Okay.
And has already told her,
Okay.
I think giving her money or something, told her to get rid of the
To
pregnancy.
get rid of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Obviously, she doesn't have the financial, the whatever to look
Then
after
what's she keeping the baby for then? Who is she keeping the baby for? For herself?
But some
Or as a
people are
trophy?
saying that if she gets rid of it, then it's a sin. It is this, it is that.
Is a sin? Like where did that come from?
You know, they were using Bible verses to say to support it that it was a sin.
Which Bible verse? New
Like
Testament or Old
when you were in
Testament?
your mother's womb, I knew you. You know,
I beg you, which knew who? Who knew who? What are we?
like let me not go back.
Oh,
Yeah, so like Bible verses that was talking about being in the embryo stage and in your mother's womb, knowing. You understand?
see, a lot of Bible verses are irrelevant to some. There are some discussions that has nothing to do with the Bible. Has nothing to do with
But
religion.
we're
Sorry,
Nigerians.
can I say something?
Always
It's just
remember
common sense.
that
Can I say
we
It's just common sense.
spiritualize every
Can I
single
say something?
Yeah,
thing.
of course, we know
Even
that.
if the rain falls, we
Jesus.
spiritualize
Let me
it.
tell you something. Let me tell you something. Have you ever been at a bus park in Nigeria?
Yeah,
Have you ever
yeah.
been
I've
at
been
a
there.
bus park?
Yeah.
Go to in Idumota or in Oshodi and sit down there for 2 hours every day for 1 week. You start to respect why many should be terminated. When you see children that are useless, all they do is there's nothing that they have. No, there's no. Do you know some people have gotten to a stage in their life that they cannot be rehabilitated? They cannot be rehabilitated. Children who are in that now, some of the children are in that situation because they ran away from home. They had a good home, but there are some children who had no option but to grow up on the streets,
survive,
and to become the monster.
Yeah.
They have grown into monsters. I do not believe, scripture aside, that my God would want me to create a monster or a child in this monstrous situation. I do not believe in it. I do not agree to it, and I will not preach it. I will not preach it to my church. I'm sorry. If that's what other people believe and they justify it, let me tell you, those same people that justifying it are also justifying greed. Let me tell you, the biggest problem Nigeria has is lack of love and greed. That's what destroyed us.
We also lack proper
pregnancy.
decision making, because I don't understand how you want to bring a child to this world. You don't have the wherewithal. You can't even take care of yourself. So you bring this child for your parents to look after, or maybe you're trying to get to school, or you're looking for a job, or you're Why? It's not like you can't have babies in the future or something.
You know, even
See, I can understand a scenario where perhaps the lady is having problems conceiving, and maybe that was like a miracle baby. Or maybe she thought she can have babies and she got pregnant and she was like, this one, I am keeping it. I get that. Those are the exceptions that I can understand. If you want to have baby in this life, I get that. But that nothing is wrong with you. You got pregnant from one guy. Whether the guy is marrying someone else or not is even irrelevant. Okay. You personally look at your life, yourself.
Yeah.
Can you take care of yourself, let alone take care of take care of someone else?
Human being. Yeah.
It's a very.
Don't worry now. I have the nation responsibility. Let me tell you what I'm telling you. Because so many children have become free nation responsibility.
Yeah.
You cannot take care of it. It becomes somebody else's responsibility.
Yeah. You can see it's because he's in Nigeria. Can you try this one in the UK? So you get pregnant for who now? For the government.
Remember, there's a Yoruba adage that says that Daddy Fizz.
Sorry, in the UK, sorry, the two of you are UK people. Is it a crime? I know in certain parts of the world it's a crime to terminate.
In the UK,
is it a crime?
It is against the law to abort. But there is caveat, obviously. You have to obviously see your doctor. Your doctor they will literally scrutinize your life. You have to tell. The only time they will accept you to abort is if your life is in danger, you're going to die, or something of that nature. It has to be medical. It has to make sense. Not that I don't have money.
Wait. That one,
you know what I mean?
I think I could be wrong. I think that was for Northern Ireland then.
No, England.
Yeah, but England. It's not that deep. I did it in England. I did it. It was very straightforward. I just went to my GP and said to my GP, this. So I went through counseling and we did it.
Yeah,
and
you have to go through counseling.
So there's support, pre-support, post-support for you. So you're not mentally or emotionally, whatever it is.
Yeah, because they want to know if you are mentally sound, you can handle it. Because a lot of people, after having the baby, they just lose it.
Support.
So it's not just physical now. They look at every aspect.
Woman, when they pamper, they get postpartum depression.
You can't compare UK to Nigeria. In UK, for example, all our babies, I have 2 children. Those children collect salary. Nobody gives me anything for free. They collect salary every month for doing nothing, for just being British.
Exactly.
Is it that one you want to now compare with? What?
I said, no wonder you defend.
No, King. I know they defend King.
For you.
King James is not.
All right.
King James is as useless as they call. Let's forget King James.
Let's hand over back to Yella.
Yella, Wagwan.
Do you have any friends who want to contribute? We want to talk to people your age too, because it is people mean at this age. I'm not sure say I feel this situation where woman go carry this thing for me. And to be very honest, let me be very honest. I've had a situation before where I've had to make it was a more so a health related choice.
Yeah.
And I had to go down that route. And it does cross my mind once in a while. Maybe
that is free.
You understand?
If we are,
but it me any near mental issues.
That is free. A lot of us, before we got married and everything, we've probably had coitus without condoms, obviously. Now God just they save us, say we don't get children everywhere, say children no fool everywhere anyhow. Sure you get.
Daddy Fizz. Do you know there's a Yoruba saying that oúnjẹ tí ọmọ máa jẹ láyé ó máa gbé wá, like
ọmọ ló gbé wá kò ní oúnjẹ kankan jẹ bí máa pa fóòsì náà.
They say it.
We are going on.
Some prayers are just stupid.
The food that is going to eat
No,
Honestly.
there's no food anywhere. If you don't work, you don't eat. You will starve. As in, no be small thing.
Run by flood pits. You will not have what. Okay, Yella. So over to you. We want to take your decision. And I also want to bring Vidoma. So Vidoma said she had to go through. I want women now. Buki, your contribution has been amazing, especially since you also had the experience. Thank you so much. I'm so happy you were able to talk. And let me tell you, let me ask you a question. Since you've gone through that procedure, has it affected you psychologically in any way? Do you think about it?
No,
And
number
feel
one, like I
depressed?
said, before I went through it, I had some counseling. After I had some counseling. So here we've got a structure, a system that supports you in place. So
Yeah.
that helped.
Pre
Secondly,
and post,
yeah,
all the way.
yeah. And secondly, most importantly, it was my decision. I had what we call informed decision. I looked at my circumstance. I looked at my earnings. I looked at myself, my mental state. I looked at so many things, and I thought, no, if I bring this child into this world, it's not going to be a good thing, because I was not in a good space. So that was the best decision I made. Now, you said something.
And it was early.
Yeah, no. It
Bookie,
was like,
don't forget, there's a time frame, Daddy Freeze, in the UK, there's a time frame to when you can abort a baby.
After 2 months,
yeah.
I'm not
It has
inside the
to
No, I
be
frame
think
very
or
early
up,
stages.
yeah, like I
I
think 3 months. Anything after 3
anyhow.
months, you can nobody even listen to you.
You can't. The advice I'm giving is 1 month, 2 months, while it is still at the stage of some cells coming together,
Let me
looking at
just quickly
themselves and
throw
saying,
in one
let's come
controversy.
together.
So sometimes what happens is you don't
Yeah.
want to have a termination. However, as the pregnancy proceeds and they have a scan, they find out that there's a defect with the child. Sorry to use the word defect, but there's
Yeah,
something wrong with the
that's a
child.
good reason
And then
to.
the doctor will tell you that, look, this is our own opinion as medical
Our
doctors,
recommendation.
our
These are your options.
recommendation. These are your options. So you now make a decision in that situation as well. So
To
that
keep
is
the
another
baby or
thing.
not.
And it could even be maybe after, it would definitely be after 3 months scan. It
Yeah,
can happen.
yeah, absolutely. Because but Daddy
I
Freeze, I
totally
won't
agree.
lie to you. When we went to check my babies and we were checking scanning and all that, I was checking whether they had 5 fingers and 5, because I don't want 6 fingers. I was double checking.
6 fingers is okay. There are certain needs that a child would have.
Exactly.
Your
Would be
whole
on
life, as in,
hold.
it's just like the off. Quicken,
Off.
what is
You won't
hold?
have a life
Off.
Yeah.
Daddy
Hold
Freeze,
off.
I see some
This one
people
is
every day. There's a woman I know. Daddy Freeze,
with your
there's
own
a woman I
psychological
know. The
issues.
woman is in her late 80s. Our only child is a woman also. The girl is she's in her 60s. The girl has a lot of issues mentally. The mother and the daughter, when you see the 60-year-old plus daughter, she still behaves like a baby and all that, still holds door. That woman, she has lived her life for that child. I still see them regularly. She has no life, nothing. She's so old and frail. The mother now. The daughter too is old and frail. But because she was born that way, that she has no life, that's their life. They go shopping together, holds her hand. She'll be screaming, be chasing her. Old woman chasing another old daughter. And they've been like that all their life. Do you think that woman is thinking of career or anything?
Yeah.
She can only do that because she's in the UK where there is support.
Also, let me throw in one last thing before I carry my wahala go. So I'm AS. For every reason, all my partners have been, oh my God, that sounds bad. All my partners. Okay. For every reason, It is people who are
God have
AS
mercy.
I tend to meet and fall in love with. Me, I get coconut head.
Yeah.
I get coconut head. No AA, always AS. Now here, there's a procedure at 13 weeks, 13 weeks. So they take out the, I won't go into the details,
Yeah,
but
they check the
there's
fluids.
the
They put
fluid, the
something
baby's
and they
fluid.
draw the fluids
And
out
then
to
within
check
like
if you're
5
gonna have
days,
a.
it's done for
Yeah.
it's for all my 3 kids. Within 5 days, they check it at 13 weeks. I think 11 or 13 weeks, one of the two. They checked it and they're able to determine what their genotype is.
Genotype is.
Now,
Yeah.
at that stage as well, if it was SS, I got lucky. I've got AA and I've got AS.
Yeah.
If there was an SS in one of them,
You can choose to end it. Yeah.
that is another thing. That is another
That's another one.
End
topic
it.
End
for
it there.
another day.
There's a boy I
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
I'm AA.
AS
My wife is
who is
AA, but we still did
well
everything just to be sure. It doesn't just help with that, it helps with the brain as well if it's developing well.
of a child who was born SS. No,
Yeah.
sorry, not SS. His one of his hands had to be amputated. One of
Oh,
his
it's
legs
terrible.
had
It's
to be
terrible.
amputated because of this. You see, why bring? I don't know. You know, maybe some people derive hope in a struggle, but sometimes when I see that suffering carry,
There's no, how can there be
there's
hope
no
in
place.
something that is
yeah,
hopeless, for God's sake?
yeah.
It's not a bad thought, it's just reality. SS, sickle cell, it doesn't last.
It's
I
scary.
know people will say, God forgive me. I've seen a lot of adults that died because they have been living with this sickle cell anemia. They died as adults, getting into uni,
All right,
happy
so
and all that.
back. Yella, I want you to say something. Then I'm bringing Vidoma. Vidoma, are you here? Say hi. Bookie, thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you. This is amazing. Yella,
Okay.
over to you. Now that you've heard adults share experiences,
I'm
what
still
is
going to
your
say
take?
terminate the baby. Like that,
Ah,
like to me,
you're
like
back.
it's just. I'm not going to say.
What's that? What did you say? Terminate the baby, Abby?
Like you also asked what's it called, what you think my generation would be thinking about. I have, well, I used my room.
Did you call your friend around?
Only one of my roommates like is awake, so I decided to ask her, and she's a bit traditional. I don't know how to explain, like not just
Okay.
with this, in like everything when it comes to like relationships. She still believes in like men providing for women and all that, so you can already imagine what she's going to say. And if so, what you imagine she's going to say is, okay, she's against abortion. You know how traditional is. You understand? She's against, but even with that, she said that if she tries everything that she can, which is as in hustle, get a job, be a cleaner, be a janitor, whatever, and it doesn't work, she doesn't think her money is going to be enough to take care of this baby. Maybe it clicks, then she's going to terminate the baby.
Let me tell you, as a cleaner in Nigeria, you can't take care of the
Yes,
baby.
what
You will suffer,
that is,
and
by
that
the
child
time
will
she's
suffer.
done trying and she realizes, she's going to realize quick, because in Nigeria you can't. So she has no choice but to terminate the baby. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to collect her and put her on my side. We are terminating our babies if that is our case. Like that's happened.
Okay,
Yeah,
Vidoma,
and about
you're
what he
here.
said about
We're
what's
going
it
to round
called,
up.
when he said that the Bible, or what's it called, you said something that made the Bible look like it was being discarded. Or yeah, you said it was irrelevant. I won't use that word because like a lot of people in the comments said irrelevant. I'll just say that the Bible tends to be a bit.
No, I said it. I said so. There are some
Relevant.
things in
I'm,
the
I'm
Bible
not.
that are not
Oh,
they are not relevant today. They're
Yeah,
not.
I'm not going to say like the Bible just tends to be a bit poetic and dramatic, figurative.
But it's not everything in the Bible that is poetic. Some things are just direct instructions.
Exactly.
Some things are just
Direct instructions
people talking.
are just,
But we Nigeria, we take it literally.
we take
It's
everything.
not everything that is literal.
Because somebody here came and said, wow, so the Bible can be discarded and disregarded under the freezes page. No, That's also you
No.
something out of context
No.
again.
It's the person that is taking it out of context.
Now, you see, let me tell you something. Let me ask you a question there. When you are pouring rice, beans, and stew, you know some people cook the rice and beans together.
Yeah.
You know how they cook rice? Some people cook the rice, pour the beans, dry beans, and then pour oil. Pour stew. Some will cook wet beans, rice, and stew. How do you eat rice and beans according to the Bible?
I'll tell you.
There are some things that just require common sense. Let me tell you something, yeah. The Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself. Some people cannot love themselves, so they cannot love their neighbors. Some people's situation is so bad, they cannot even love themselves. Now, when you bring a child to this world, let's think about this. When you bring a child to this world and that child puts you in a fragile state where you are emotionally contaminated, you can't love yourself. And when you can't love yourself, the consequence is you will not be able to love that child. You will carry out your frustration on that child. Vidoma is here right now. Let's
Vidoma, before you say anything, let me just drop one word. Okay, like for example, just to add some meat to what I said about the Bible, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 5 says, slave, obey your earthly masters. Okay, you apply that in 2022. It's useless, and it's in the Bible. Very useless.
Yeah.
The useless verse. Makes no sense.
I agree with you on that, but my problem is my colleagues who are preachers would not agree with me, and I don't want to make this topic
I just wanted to clear that part. Vidoma, over to you. Sorry.
There's some verses in scripture that are expired, even New Testament verses, and Ephesians chapter 6 verse 5 is one of them. It's of no relevance to today. Slaves, obey your earthly masters was what they used to drag us into 400 years of slavery in America. That was one of the verses that was not missed out when they were putting out the Black Bible and the Negro Bible.
It was literally boldly written so that slaves can read it in the plantation.
Us. If you don't obey us, if you disobey us, you are disobeying God, you're disobeying Christ.
Example,
but I don't want to go into
getting
that.
Or being in a committed relationship is not the answer to this. It's not the solution to this problem.
Vidoma, over to you. Vidoma, over to you.
Yella. Okay, good evening. Good morning, everyone? Okay. First of all, I want to start with a question, and my question is this: can you really give out what you don't have? That's my first question.
God bless.
Why I'm asking this question is this: as a parent to be, you have to understand that making a child is all about you giving out some morals. Like, you have to give your love, attention, care, finances, and others. So now, this particular situation, this lady here doesn't have support from the person responsible for the pregnancy. She doesn't have support from her family. So what is she doing it for? That's the question.
Wants to be a mother.
You want to be a mother for what? Who are you trying to prove wrong? Like, what are you trying to prove?
You're not Rihanna.
You have, okay,
pun intended.
Let's even put it in this platform. Let's just assume she's financially stable, she's academically okay, and we have an examples of women that are doing better, that just want to have a baby, not thinking about if the man is interested in being part of the baby's life. But in this particular situation, you don't have anyone supporting you. It's just you, and you have so much to risk. One, you are very young. Secondly, you have your education. Thirdly, you have your future to fight for. You have so much to risk. Like when I read the story, I was like, okay, fine. Why are you now feeling ashamed? Like you're feeling like your parents are going to so disown you, you want to run away. Why are you feeling that way already? Then if you're feeling this way, how do you think you're ready to be there for your baby? How?
Good point.
You can't give out what you don't have. And to be very sincere, I've been in this situation and I'm not ashamed to say it. I didn't ask to be there.
Tell us how what happened, my darling.
Okay, it happened. We were not ready. We were both not ready for it. Like we had to.
How old were you?
I was 22 when it happened. So we weren't ready financially. Mentally I wasn't ready. Health wise, I think I wasn't ready. So we had to like, okay, fine. Since you don't have so much and I don't, but we just, figure it out. And it was just it. Like I don't see people trying to put things like is a sin, is this, is that. Okay,
Everything
let
in
me ask a
Nigeria is a
question.
sin. Everything is a sin. You cross the road, you don't cross it well, it's a sin.
The question is even this,
Sorry.
simply Vic. The question is this, okay, by the time you don't want to commit a sin and you finally end up making the baby, now you have to give up everything. Who is going to be responsible for that?
Now,
Then that depression you're trying to run away from, that's when you run into
Bidoman,
it.
let me now shock you. These same people, that is true. These
Now,
same people that said is a sin for you, if you abort, is a sin. By the time you now deliver the baby, they will now tell you that it's also a sin to have a baby outside wedlock. You can never win.
you can't win. You can't win in Nigeria. There's no option. Listen, from the beginning, they will tell you, listen, let me break it down to you. They will tell you cannot do it out of wedlock. So you are keeping yourself. Then armed robber comes to your house, shoots Bagua, catches you, carries you inside one room and gives you Bele enter. You cannot remove
Yeah,
it. It's a sin. If you have a baby,
it is a
single
sin.
mother is a sin. So you see, you have to choose one sin at a point. You will get to the point where you'll be looking at many sins and you will choose the lesser evil. It's called the lesser
No,
evil.
Daddy Freeze, I think they need to understand that we all are actually sinning. But
Before, personal question. Have you ever felt a mental condition arise from taking the decision to remove?
okay, like when it happened, I think one of the reasons that caused me to like fully give in to that, like that option was this. I had my education to figure out, and then I wasn't really financially capable. If I
But,
was actually,
but how did you
if
feel emotionally? Did you feel any sort of
emotion,
attachment? You know, of course, you're pregnant now. If you can look back, if you want to talk about it anyway, if you can remember and look back, I know you were pregnant. Was there any time in the pregnancy that you were happy or excited that you were pregnant and you were like, okay, the reality check came, everything just dawned on you like, man, this is impossible?
okay, I want to speak the after effect after the whole scenario. At a point, like some few days after the procedure, I kind of felt a kind of way, but I had to read some books. I went to some websites. I heard women that have actually gone through that process, write down the whole their experiences and all the rest of it. Then I got hold of myself. Like there is no stigmatization I had carried on from that event till now. There's nothing of such.
Interesting. Interesting.
All right. All right, guys. We've got BC. Thank you so much for your contribution, Vidoma. Take care and God bless. Simply Vic,
And
thank you too. I really appreciate you. Yella back. I want to
All
bring
right.
one
All
more
right,
person
Chess, let
before
me
we
leave.
can
If you don't want
close
to stay, let me
the.
just leave. Yeah, good
Thank you.
night.
It was very beautiful. Bookie too. Vidoma too. God bless you, my darling. Thank you so much. I appreciate you as always. Oyebisi in the house.
Hi, Daddy
Oyebisi,
Free.
tell
How are
me,
you doing?
what is your take?
Well, like I was saying
I'm
earlier,
very well.
um, the, I mean, she doesn't have any support. For her, though, I do not believe the financial aspect of it is the problem for her. I think she's just emotional about the whole situation. I think she's just upset that she got herself stuck into this situation. She's upset that her parents think that she's a failure. She's upset that she got pregnant by somebody that's getting married to someone else. So for her, all of the reasons that she has to want to keep this baby is guilt. She's just feeling guilty, right? And that is actually a terrible situation to be at. Because when if she eventually has this baby, she will look at this child every day. And the only thing she'll remember is the drama and the guilt that went about when she was having that baby. So that is a problem. She's just upset and she's feeling guilty. So I think she needs to take a step back, probably go for some counseling, because I believe that parents will be there for her if she has the baby. I don't think it's fine.
Network. Oh.
Yes, the father doesn't want anything to do with the child because obviously he did give her money to do an abortion, right? But if she wants to have the baby, she has family support, she will have financial support, she could. But I think for her, the most thing that's troubling her is guilt. She's very guilty. She's very emotional right now. And she cannot do anything with emotion. She's being sentimental, she's being emotional, and she needs to first of all take that aside and then decide, okay, if I have this baby, will I still be able to go to school? Do I want to go to school? Do I want to drop out for this child? If all that answers are no, then she has to take. She can't have the baby. If all those answers are yes, then go ahead, because either way she's going to have mental health issues with either having the baby or not having the baby, right? I mean, in situations like that,
Yeah.
especially in where I am in Canada, right? Even here, you can have abortion at second trimester, depending on your situation. I had my second child, I had a Down syndrome scare, right? When I went for my second trimester scan, so it was like I think it was like a 5 out of 100 hard. So I had to do an amniocentesis where they have to take the amniotic fluid of the baby because I wanted to make sure, of course, before I kill this child. Okay, is that child going to actually have it? I have to go through counseling. I have to go through so many things. So first of all, you have to put emotions aside, because if I was being sentimental about the whole situation, I'll be crying like, oh, I don't want to kill the child. Oh, but at the same time, I don't want to have a child that's going to be a burden onto me. Because then because I know how hard it is to take care of a Down syndrome child, because I'm in the medical field. So I know that for a fact. So I took my emotions aside. I put my sentiments aside, and I went through reality. Realistically, hi, Auntie.
Hello.
Realistically, can I have that child? Realistically, will my life change for the better or for the worse if I have this child? All sentiments and emotions apart, you have to talk about reality. Forget the Bible. The Bible is a guide. In this modern day and age, you cannot use the Bible for everything, because half of the things in the Bible, it doesn't exist right now, right? So you have to think about your reality. What are you going to do at this point? Like Buki was saying earlier, informed decision. You have to know what it is you're deciding about. What is it you're deciding on before you take that decision? Right now, I think she's just guilty and she's having so many emotions flying around, and she just needs to take a step back and probably talk to somebody first before she makes a decision. But again, I'm pro-choice. Whatever she wants to do, right? It's her choice.
Hello.
Thank you. Your contribution is amazing, especially since you're in the medical field. Thank you so much. It's just that we have so many people here. So thank you once again. I'm gonna holler at the DM. You're in the UK, right?
No, Canada.
You Canada, okay? She said Canada.
Oh, I'll still holler at you in the DM. Thank you so much, my sister,
Hello,
for that.
Daddy Free.
God
How
bless
are
you. Ma, please don't be angry.
No, that's
The
okay.
lady
I'm just
came
listening to
before,
her. Yeah,
so I'm gonna
saying hi. Okay.
Hey, I love your hair color. So, my darling lady, this is your first time with us. Tell us what your opinion is.
Well, I saw the post and I've been with you guys from the start. To me, I feel
Yes.
in her situation, there's no need to keep the baby. Yes. I understand that the person is getting married to a different person. She could want to keep the baby, maybe because she wants to punish him. I don't know. But I just feel, let's forget religion. It's not every time we carry religion up and down. There are some things that we just have to take a stand. Because I was in a situation like that, not me directly, my niece. She was married for 19 years without a baby. The month she left her husband, the next month she took in for someone else. And she came to me, what will I do? I looked at her. I said, your condition, financially, she's not okay. She can't even sort herself. She barely feeds herself because she hawks on water. She sells water, Coke, and the rest on the streets. So I told her, I said, it's your choice. What do you?
It's your choice.
It's your choice. If you bring this baby into the world, what are you going to use to take care of this baby? I hope you are not depending on me. At the end of the day, she decided to keep the baby, which she couldn't even afford an antenatal. So in situations like this, people want pity for what they brought onto themselves. If not for pregnancy, there are STDs. So why would you just go around having whatever it is without even protection? So I left the ball in her court. Decide what you want to do. But for me, I would suggest you remove it. But because of your situation, 19 years without a baby, well, I can't tell. Just do what you feel will be okay for you. So that is it. In life, sometimes you just have to give people both options and let them choose. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was so realistic. I really appreciate that. And finally, thank you, ma'am. Finally, Ma, you're here with us. We're ending now. I'm just trying to bring my gorgeous daughter back here so she can finish with me because we started this together. What is your...
No, I think I'm just going to say this. Sometimes when people come out to ask for help or advice on something, they already, I think, intuitively have decided on what they want to do. But they're just coming out to aid here so everybody can chime in and everything. If you look at her condition, you can only advise her and she can go back and do whatever she wants to do. First things first. The situation, the condition, she got pregnant for somebody who is getting married to another woman. That's a strike right there. So the anger that she has, the resentment towards this man, if she decides to have this baby, someday down the line, she's going to remind that baby, is that your stupid father? Because she still resents him. And a poor child will come and carry on with that resentment. Now, that's one thing. Another thing is, she now decides, I'm going to abort the baby and move on with my life. At this age, she has come openly to tell everybody, hey, I'm pregnant, look at me. And people are now looking at her. Why didn't she just go, hey, you know what? I'm going to do whatever I want to do. Don't put this out there on social media. Get rid of the baby and move on with your life. Who cares? So now she is going to be that lady, that young woman that told the whole world about her abortion story. I mean, it's nothing to be ashamed of. I believe in pro-choice. It's your body, your decision. You do what you feel like doing. Who cares? It's nobody's business because no one is going to help her in raising that child. Even the parents, even everyone that thinks, oh, it's a sin. At the end of the day, whose sin is it? Let he or she who is without sin cast the first stone. How do you determine that my sin is greater than yours? Whose sin are we judging her on? At this point, let her go ahead and do what's convenient for her, looking at her situation. Does she want to bring this child into the world just as a payback? And it's going to backfire, because guess what? She's very young. For the rest of her 40-something more years in life, she has to deal with this. So the best thing is, if you think it's going to be a problem, get rid of the problem before it becomes a daunting nightmare.
Now, I've asked every single woman who has been here live, except Yella, because I know she's young and she's never been through this. I can tell you that for free, and I'm hoping I'm right. Have you ever gone through that procedure before, once in your life? Even as a man, my experience.
Luckily, I haven't. Not because I'm righteous, but because I was on birth control pills. However, I have gone through a miscarriage while married. My second son, I miscarried at the age of 4 months, but that's just a miscarriage. But the reason why I probably haven't gone through an abortion is because I was on birth control, not because I was holier than thou, or I didn't have a boyfriend before I got married. I have been married 37 years, and I had a boyfriend before I got married, and we had sex. So I can't say, oh no, not me. It's because I was on birth control. That's the only thing that saved me. Or if I had managed to be pregnant, then I probably would have had an abortion, because I wasn't ready to get married, and he wasn't ready either. So anyone that will come here and go, oh no, God forbid. What is God forbidden, and who is the God that is forbidding you from doing whatever you want to do? So be very careful. You have to take off the pebbles in your eyes before you start taking out the little hairs from my eyes. Please.
Absolutely. The other young lady with us, have you ever been through the procedure before? And be honest.
Honestly, no, because I got married quite early. Being from the north at 21, I was already married. Yeah, so at my age, I'm just in my early 40s, where I have 2 kids in the university.
Okay.
So you see, I was lucky.
I wanted you to join us.
So it's to be honest, with some young girls, I think to be on the safe side, if you have a birth control, that's even safer. If not, tell the man to wear a coat, zip up. You know, but you to be safe, girl. Just take care of yourself. Get from a birth control, just to be on the safe side. They have some these days that don't have any side effects. So please take care of yourself. And then tell the man to wear his raincoat because of diseases.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much. It was a very honest session. Everybody spoke their minds. Nobody judged anybody. Whatever decision you want to take, it's your body, your decision, man. I believe every woman owns their body. Every woman knows their body. But sometimes you need to also, because it's your body, when you are taking a decision, be careful of how it impacts other people who are not enjoying. Consider your parents. Do you understand? It's not easy raising kids in Nigeria today. I wouldn't, of course, I'm not going to disown my daughter or any of my kids if they got pregnant, no. But I would not be happy with them, because, come on, why are you giving me extra billing? Why are you giving me any extra financial responsibility? So yes, my body is my decision. My body is my decision. It's your body is your decision, but you're going to make me pay for your decision. You're going to put me in a place of inconvenience for your decision. So sometimes when you're thinking, people need to actually be a lot more rounded when it comes to
And think of the
decisions.
other people in your life that your decision will rather impact, because it's not
Yes.
just you. Your decision might end up impacting other people in your life. So you have to be very careful.
Yes.
Hello, sweetie. Okay.
All right, guys. So thank you. I brought Yella back, and
Okay.
Yella is going to close the day.
Thank you,
Thank
Nana.
Thank
you.
Always
you.
nice talking to you. Bye-bye.
Privilege. Thank you.
God bless you.
God bless you. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you for coming through. It's not easy to join our live. So Yella, over to you.
I really don't know what else to say. I feel like I'm just going to repeat what I have said. There is no logical reason why that baby should be kept. Do not bring a baby who is just going to want to live the life you brought it to. Terminate the pregnancy.
Okay, that's what people are. Now, let me ask you a question. You know, a lot of young people your age are engaging
Yes.
in coitus. What advice would you give a parent? What advice would you give a parent right now? Because a lot of parents believe that their children are just holy, their children until the child comes home with a protruding belly. So, what advice would you give children, boys and girls, between 18 and
I give
21,
what
for
advice would I
instance?
give their parents?
What advice, like for instance, now you see, there are things you children know that we parents don't know, and we parents think we know everything, but the children will be looking at you and saying, "This don't mind them; they think they know everything." So you, as a child, you've lived. At least you are right now in the Generation Z. You are one of them. What advice would you give your parents or parents in general with regards to children? Because there's one thing I noticed in this girl's story. She had no family support. Because if you believe that your parents are you are a disgrace to your family to the point where you can't even carry your matter home. Me, I would say my child should bring the matter home. If you're going to keep it, it will be up to you. We'll support you. If you're going to remove it, it will still be up to you, and we'll support you in whatever way we can. But my question is to you, what advice do you have for parents?
Stop thinking your children don't know what this thing is. Stop thinking that you can stop them. Abstinence is not really it. Like, unless it's their choice to abstain without you telling them to abstain, there's nothing you can really do about it. The only thing is you can only tell them how to do it or what to do about it. But that thing of, oh, your kid is having, the only thing you can actually do is just, you're going to padlock your kid in the house forever. That's all you can do. Yeah.
To
Yeah, to
protect
stop
them
them
from
from
this
doing, that's the
reality.
only thing you can do. If you say you don't, because if it, unless it's that them by themselves, they are maybe asexual people, they don't really enjoy sexual, it's a thing of yourself. There's nothing you can do about someone else unless they want to do something about it. So the only thing you can do is try and manipulate them, but that you want them to obey this instruction that is not their own bidding, it's not going to, it doesn't work. So the only thing you can do is okay, you want to have sex with this person, you can't even tell them this is what happens when you have unprotected sex, these are the types of STDs, so these are the best forms of protection. Now this person, do you love them? If God forbid this person gets pregnant, do you think you can want to work towards taking care of that baby? Because there are some people, you get them pregnant and you look at them like, it's unfortunate that they got pregnant, but you still want to build a life with them. Then there are some people, they got pregnant, you had sex with them just yesterday, or you had intercourse with them just yesterday. Now a few weeks later you hear they're pregnant and you're like, God forbid you have baby from me. Do you understand that kind of thing? As you make sure the person you're having intercourse with is someone you love, and you're not just going around. Because now there's I don't think there's a problem.
Sorry, my internet was very bad. Anyway, guys, it's been a lovely, lovely session with you
Why
all.
people?
Thank you,
Can you
Yella.
see? This is the thing we're talking about. How can you say that the what's it called? That this topic is bigger than me, and I'm going to.
Don't ever say that. I brought her here for a reason, and I believe she is the most important person here because at my age, I don't see myself getting somebody pregnant and having to choose whether to remove it or to keep it. It is people her age that are going through this. You see, Buki said something. You see, human beings are emotional. Let's stop all these self-control. Yes, we preach self-control. We advise self-control. We work towards self-control, but situations happen. And if that situation happens, do you want to be burdened by a situation for the rest of your life? You heard the stories. We brought people who have had these experiences, women who said, you know what, I saw that I was not ready financially, I was not ready emotionally, I went through the counseling and I did it for that reason. These are the people who need to know these things. Like I always say, personally, it's a tough choice. There's a certain level of poverty you are in. I will not encourage you to have a child. I will not encourage you. I don't see how bringing a child into suffering so that you want to use it as atonement for abortion is now, no. I'm sorry, I do not buy into that philosophy. I am not persuaded in that regard. Forgive me if I'm not. Here is my take. You know there's a certain level of suffering. You are living, you are living in a shop. You bait outside at 4 a.m. and then you want to bring a child home and join you inside that madness. Please don't. It is in that situation, I personally, I don't know, God did not tell me to tell you it's not a sin, but I personally know that there are some things that God will look away from. God is not wicked. It's like if God is my father, and I'm my daughter's father, do you think I would hate my daughter because she got pregnant? Absolutely not. I will still love her. It might strain our relationship. It might make things a little tough. It might affect my bank balance, but that I'm going to disown her or I'm not going to love her again. No. So if I'm a father to my child and that's my reaction, I don't see how me built in God's image would take a decision like that and then God, I'm now going to be afraid for the rest of my life that God is going to. Let me tell you, when I did it, I have zero conscience about it. Because I knew I took the best decision at that time. I took the best decision at that time. So at the end of the day, it is your body. Be considerate of other people. You can't, I'm just reading out things we learned today. You can't give what you don't have. If you don't have love, you can't give love. At the end of the day, more people are psychologically affected by bad marriages and having children that they cannot take care of than the only time I know that this might affect you is if you had maybe you terminated a pregnancy in your youth and then you are now 40 years old and can't have children. Then I know that one will be haunting you. But personally, I've not met any. Okay, I've met one auntie, one of my aunts that had that situation. But every single woman that is psychologically damaged is as a result of bad marriage that I personally have met. So let's all learn something. Thank you so much, Yella. I'm going to call you once we're done, okay? All right, guys. Love you all. Take care. See you soon. I hope you learned something. Don't judge. Remember, don't judge. Don't judge is not only for pastors that are
people. Always call your children are too young. By the time your girls are like having their periods, you can start discussing these things with them because at that age they can start getting pregnant. I think the moment they can start getting pregnant, start talking about things that get them pregnant. It's not, Yella, you're too young for this. That's why this girl is in the situation she is, because someone was saying, oh, you're too young to be like, stop doing that.
Yes.
You're
because
you're the reason. Just stop. I'm almost 20 and you're telling me, no, you should not be like that.
Listen, my mother gave birth to me at 21. That means she was doing it when she was 20. It's not like at your 21st birthday, the baby fell and bumped you on the head. No. So please, let's be realistic. Let's be telling ourselves. I would not.
You're too young to have this kind of conversation, right? You're still a kid. But the moment you face some kind of consequence from not having this kind of conversation, you become an adult that they are kicking out of the house. They forget that you're just that made a mistake.
Yeah.
Out of the house, like,
yes. You see, I told you to round this off. You see why I told you I should come and round this off? You are making so much sense. Listen, I have this conversation with my daughters. I have to ask them. I will never encourage. I don't even encourage premarital intercourse. I don't. But I sit down with them and I have these conversations. It's not every child that will listen to their parents. We pray our children listen to us, and we also want them to know the consequences of not listening. But I make time out to sit down with my children. I have 2 daughters in university. So I try. It's a difficult conversation. Let me tell you, once your picking don't enter 18, hey, you go to get conversations where your body go to crawl to get them, but you have to get them. Or do you want to outsource it? You want to go and get somebody to be having the conversation on your behalf? Women, talk to your daughters. Men, talk to your daughters. Men especially. Sit down with them. Let them be comfortable around you. Let your daughter not be afraid of telling you certain things about their lives. There's another thing you need to understand.
Your sons, like, also talk to your sons. I'm not saying that. See, it might be too much of a step for me to tell you, give your sons condoms. Okay, you don't have to give your sons condoms. Let me tell you what they are practicing. No, they do this thing called pull-out game. It does not work. We are getting pregnant because of pull-out game. Pull-out game does not work. So you better give them the condom. I think they are sharp.
Guys, pull-out does not work. Oh. Pull-out does not work. Oh. Let me confess, one of the instances when I had to go through the procedure, it was pull-out, and it did not work. It does not work, or it works some of the time, and a lot of the time it doesn't. Please, Yella, God bless you for this. You've been so wise in this regard. Other girls learn, other parents, listen to your children. They are not as daft as you think they are, and you are not as wise as you think you are. Message to parents: your children are not as daft as you think they are, and you are not as wise as you think. Some of these children will not be looking at you. What is this one saying? Please, please, please. Buki said I had my son through pull out. Kemiolu lawyer said I had my son. He's 35 years today. Pull out. Pull out, not a walk. Oh. Rona said I'm the dawn of pull out until they lock your shirt. Say you don't give person where you suppose pull out. Pull out, not a walk. Oh. Let me tell you, posting or 2 and rubber idabobo. Very important things. That rubber, it dey help. Oh. I know some people don't like that rubber because of, they say it limits their feeling. I get it. But you see, rubber is the best because it protects you and it protects the woman. Not just from pregnancy, is not the only problem. There's HIV, there's chlamydia, there's HPV, human papilloma virus. There's so many things. But you see, just in case you want to throw caution to the wind, once you are done, go and buy that Postinor 2. They'll say that if he's a pastor is preaching this, Postinor 2 will prevent you going through the procedure. So choose your sin. You've already sinned. Why punish yourself for the sin? You think because you punish yourself, God will now forgive you. You will not get work. No be a shower you go do take feed the pikin. You no get work to chop. You can't go get belly born. You sure say no be a shower you go do last. Ulushu. Talk my own. Thank you so much. Someone said Postinor 2, they fail sometimes. Condom today, everything they fail. But at least protect yourself. It's better to run out in the rain with a raincoat and some droplets of water will splash on you than to run inside the rain empty without umbrella, no raincoat. Okay? So that's it, guys. Be careful. Pull out does not work. Pull out, called pull in knee. Put in knee. Does not work. Take care. God bless. Thank you so much, Yella. I'm going to call you once we're done.
Bye.